Okay, it says we're live. I trust you, YouTube. Yeah. Another Scotch review. Again, if you saw the previous video, I said that my local NSLC has now become an A selection store, which means way more things available to me. An embarrassment of riches. And so I picked this up. Forgive me, I'm looking away here. I've got like two monitors going. So my laptop and my TV. So here we have Ledaig, 10-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey from the Isle of Mull. Now, I've seen this also pronounced Ledaig, and it's Gaelic for safe haven, but most people I've seen call it Ledaig, so that's the one I'm going to go with. This is actually from the Tobermory distillery, established in 1798 on the Isle of Mull. It's currently the only distillery on the Isle of Mull. There used to be some more here and there. Tobermory has been owned by tons of companies. It's shut down several times, come back, just like just about every other distillery in Scotland at one point or another. Currently owned by Burn Stewart Distillers. And excuse my, I think I have a bit of a speech impediment here. I bit my tongue. And that's a subsidiary of Distill Group Limited from South Africa. They just recently, in the last few years, bought Burn Stewart Distillers. So the Ledaig, or here I go pronouncing it incorrectly, the Ledaig line is Tobermory's peated release line. Tobermory itself is not peated, but this is their peated line, so they make a little bit of peated stuff. Some of this malt ends up in such blends as the Black Bottle, or at least it used to. I don't know if it still does. This was $75.16 at my NSLC. That's fairly moderately well priced for something this classy. Like, that looks really good. I think it's very simple, very tasteful bottling and packaging here. Nothing extravagant. Tons of different expressions of this Ledaig. Unchill filtered, no caramel coloring from what I can tell. The bottlings currently that they list on their website, they've got like two different versions of a 13-year-old. They've got a 15, a 16, a couple versions of an 18, I believe, a 19, and a 42, I think. And some of those have different variations. Like, there's all these wood variations. For the standard 10-year-old, I believe it's just bourbon casks. And it is peated at 37 parts per million. So moderately peated, you know, a little bit above some places out there, but not really overdoing it, you know. And did I say the ABV? Probably not. 46.3%. So 92.6 proof. So we got all that shit out of the way. Close my cheat notes. Let's see. So if you look at it, and it does look darker on my camera, but it is sort of like almost lemony gold color kind of thing. Very light. You can definitely tell it's not colored with caramel coloring. A little too light for that. So we got the natural color going on here. Fairly viscous on the side here. Swirl around the glass a little bit. So we're going to go right to the aroma. Isle of Mull is off the west coast of Scotland, very large island, slightly north of Islay. So you definitely get the peat influence right away. It's a very vegetal sort of briny peat. Nice little bit of salt character coming in there. A lot of also kind of tar ash character. I would probably relate it to cigar ash. Would probably be something close. There's also a nice caramel, vanilla, and a bit of a grassy note to it. A little bit of maybe teeny bit of light fruit. It's very complex. There's a lot going on in it. It smells very nice. Really fills up the nose with a lot of different stuff going on. It's not just one or two simple big notes hammering you, like say a Laphroaig quarter cask would do. It's definitely much more expansive in the sort of the profile of aroma here. And I think that's to be expected. This is a 10-year-old. It's a bit more tame, a bit more balanced, and a bit more mature than, say, the quarter cask, even though the Laphroaig quarter cask, which is 8 years, does mature in some aspects just because of the smaller cask. But so it smells very good. There's even a weird savory sort of herbal kind of thing going on there. I don't know how to equate it. Maybe almost approaching mint, but not, doesn't quite have the sweetness of mint. Strange, but very interesting. We're going to go right to the taste now. Cheers. Oh. Oh, man. It's got some nice bite to it. Even though it's fairly moderately peated compared to some things out there, the character of the peat really comes out in this. Very nice vegetal peat. Again, some brininess. Maybe not as much in the nose as in the flavor, but I'm still getting that sort of saltiness coming out around the edges here. Like I said, in the nose, sort of a cigar ash kind of quality. Very much in the actual taste. Mixes with that sort of iodine character that peat will often bring to the forefront. There's a lot of that in here. In fact, I mentioned Laphroaig quarter cask. That's kind of what I'd equate this to with my sort of limited drinking experience as far as Scotch goes. But definitely not as intense and as just a simple bludgeoning hammer blow of peat that Laphroaig quarter cask would give you. This is much more subtle, much more nuanced, much more, again, expansive in the flavor profiles. Very complex on the nose, very complex on the actual taste as well. I am getting more of a herbal spice character to this too. Very spicy in the background, briny in the background. A little bit of the oak coming out, but not a lot. This little tinge of vanilla and woodiness there, but for the most part, spicy and a bitter spiciness too. So, trying to think of a spice that I'd equate this to. My spice knowledge is even lesser than my whiskey knowledge. So, maybe thyme or something along those lines. I don't know. You drink and decide. I'm definitely recommending this, so you should try it out. That's very good. Very, very good. Pretty medium, upper medium mouthfeel to it too. Like I said, fairly viscous. It's a good, solid drink. Very, very nice. Definitely a sipper. kind of wondering what adding water to this would be like. See if I can get any sort of noticeable change here. Put a few drops in. Probably dilute this down. Not a lot. Even that was probably too much right there. Should have had my water bottle with the stopper on it so I could just pour a couple drops. But all right. See if we get any noticeable change here. Well, in the nose, not too much of a change. I feel like it's pulling almost a sort of a dark grape note, though, out of this, and I don't think there's any sherry cask used in this at all, so maybe it's just pulling something from that sort of grassy note that I was getting earlier and that sort of light fruit note. Maybe that's what's coming up. We'll go to the taste and see what we think with the water. Ooh, okay. It's sweeter now. Not overbearing, though. Just it brings up a nice sweetness and kind of deadens a lot of the other flavors. Very much cigar ash and sweetness. So I probably wouldn't, and it really kills that spiciness in the finish and the brininess. I would not recommend putting water in this. Just go with the it's straight neat. I usually wouldn't recommend putting water in your Scotch anyway. It's kind of for the most part, a bad idea. So what are we going to give this? I really like it. You know what? This is definitely up there with some of my favorites. It's very, very tasty, very complex. It's got some nice peat notes here that are also very complex compared to, even though, Lefroy Quarter Cask is still my favorite. It still has that bracing, punching peat that I just love, that wallop. This has a little bit of that, but it goes in different places. And this is a solid A. Well priced as well. So, one of those days where I walk into the store and I don't quite have the extra couple dollars for a Lefroy Quarter Cask, this would probably be my second choice. And I'm going to give that a solid A. So, Ledaig, 10-year-old. That's an A whiskey right there. World-class stuff, guys. So, thank you for watching. And we're going to end this now. And we'll see you guys again when we see you. Goodbye.